word of the day.
This meeting is being recorded.
Our word of the day will be no other than Edward. Please help me give Edward a wonderful welcome up to the stage for his word.
Yay, Edward.
Oh, I gotta adjust this camera. It's a little cutting my head off here. All right, I fit in now. Okay. Labor Day was the theme, or labor was the theme. And I picked a word associated with that, associated with working or labor. The word I picked today is endeavor. Oh, I don't have any markers right here. I'll put this on the board.
You mean like the British television?
Yeah.
Endeavor?
Endeavor.
Yeah.
E-N-D-E-A-V-O-R. And it means to attempt something by exertion of effort. He endeavors to finish the race. I endeavored to make Club 6026 the best Toastmasters club in the history of Toastmasters Club.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're behind you.
Okay.
Pushing everyone.
It also means to strive or reach, to work with set purpose. It can be a verb or a noun. The noun is serious, determined effort or activity directed towards a goal. It was first used in the 15th century. I made this up by Christopher Columbus. But it started first being used in the 15th century. The word etymology is Middle English endeavorin, which means to exert oneself. So I'll put this in the chat as well. Endeavor, you can use any derivation of that. Endeavored, endeavor, endeavors, however you want to use it. Endeavor. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edward. I appreciate that. Next, we will have an inspiration / education moment together. Is that just not the coolest thing? It's like a Publix BOGO. By no other than Rosemary. Rosemary.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Let me welcome Rosemary to the stage.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, and welcome guests Ina and Dusty, right? Well, tonight, boys and girls, I am going to endeavor to inspire you to do a pathways. Think about your pathways. Look at this, an inspirational calendar. Every path, oh, not that one, will inspire you. Every path, like a new journey, right? A new adventure somewhere. This calendar has 12 paths. Toastmaster has only 11 paths, but they range from everything from innovative planning to engaging humor to presentation mastery, anything that fits your talents and temperaments. So you have wide choice. Every path has 5 levels of competency. The first 3 you can do with your eyes closed, just basically making speeches. Right. The 4th and the 5th take a little more time and effort, but that's why when you complete level 4, you get a lot of this. And when you complete level 5, the club gets recognized as well as you. Ask Rob, he's the poster boy. He's got working on about 4 or 5 pathways now. All right. And all of you are more adept at the internet than I am. You can also get the manuals. I can loan you these next week, Lori, if you want to. Here's Presentation Mastery, which is basically effective communication. That's what we're about, right? In level 2, you show that you understand your communication style, do effective body language, and you're introduced to Toastmaster mentoring. It's interesting, there's a lot of overlap. A lot of the pathways include mentoring, Beline. So Beline will be the go-to expert on that if you need any help. And level 3, I got to level 3 presentation mastery because I did a persuasive speech back in April. Remember persuading people to go to the district conference? Then I did a storytelling speech about the touching family story, and then a social speech. I delivered Jim's eulogy. So if I can do it, you can certainly do it. You can do it online. Now, boys and girls, and children of all ages. We're not just an old ladies knitting circle here, huh? We're not just the Wednesday night talk group that meets at Keller Williams, right? We are Toastmasters. We are part of an international educational organization that numbers about 160,000 people worldwide. Now you know, Ina and Dusty, you just got to join. You talk to Beline immediately after the meeting, or Rob. Rob will be happy to take your money if you've got even your credit card. You don't need money anymore. Anyway, 100% pathways enrolled. That's the big goal, and we're almost there. I think it's only 1 or 2 people who are not enrolled. And guess what? All Toastmasters, the international wants you to do, or the district, 2 of these levels a year in 12 months. Now, you can do that. If an old lady like me can do it, you can certainly do it. All right. Is everybody going to adventure into a new path? Look up the paths. Edward will help you to get to the base camp where you find all the details, the tutorials about it. And then you go to Andrew, who could not be here tonight. He's just working too hard. He is our recorder, and he will make sure that you get credit. You get credit, and then the club gets credit, right? You're not just speaking in a vacuum all by yourself. We're here for you, and you're here for us, right? Do I hear a right?
Right.
Yes. Okay. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rosemary, for that wonderful education moment and inspiration moment. I thought it was really nice. Next, I would like, because you can't have a Toastmasters meeting with some kind of funniness going on. So next, I would like to call Beline, and Beline will be our humorist for tonight. Please help me welcome Beline.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most honored guests. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well, I will endeavor to bring a little levity to kick off the meeting. For the theme of Labor Day, how do we approach Labor Day? Well, if it's anything like me, we're going to look at a couple of pictures and step through how most of us will be spending our time going into the weekend and as we finish the weekend. We're getting the pictures queued up. For most of us, it's about that 3-day weekend, right? So you're leaving the office on that Friday just before getting it out for Labor Day. This might be most of you. However, go to the next one. This is me as we're getting started for a Labor Day weekend. As we're getting ramped up, go ahead to the next one. Wait, did you say Labor Day or last Day? Right, we can't have anything without puppies. We're gonna have puppies. Next. Then as the weekend begins, we're already thinking about going into the next weekend. And what comes right after that? Oh, of course, we're already starting to see holiday decorations in the stores. This is how all of us, at least here in Sarasota, should be celebrating this weekend, right? Anyone else around us could be working, but we are definitely not laboring this weekend. Wait, what else goes on? Oh, it's all the fantastic sales. Got to take advantage of those. What happens after Labor Day?
Oh, no way.
No white. Who made up that rule anyway?
Not from Florida.
So, no, I'll just share they're definitely not from Florida. So no white after Labor Day. It is the rule, the law, so endeavor to not wear any white. And next. But ultimately, all good things come to an end, and we'll have to go back to work. As well as I will end my humorous moment. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Bowling. I greatly appreciate that. Was really funny, and I like the slides. It's funny that you said about the white thing. I'm not gonna. I have something to say about that later. I will glad to share with everybody. Before we get to our speaking portion, I'd like to tell you two more things. Two more of things about Labor Day. The New York parade that I was telling you about inspired other unions. Others recognized, started having parades, and by 1887, Oregon, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, and Colorado made Labor Day a state holiday. It was a state holiday for those states back in 1887. And did you know, this is my funnest part, one of the funniest, one of the best things that I learned. Labor Day is the unofficial end of hot dog season. And did you know, in America, between Memorial Day and Labor Day, Americans, we consume 7 billion hot dogs. 7 billion hot dogs within that time. That's a lot of hot dogs. Okay, our first speaker. Help me welcome our speaker for tonight. Our speaker will be Noelle Cosby. She will be in Pathways. Reflect on your path. Her project title is Never Too Late. Noelle will be presenting a 15-minute speech that she will be presenting to her ecology group, her group, in September, and she will be outlining it for us tonight. I know she will do great. Please help me welcome Noelle Cosby so we can hear her lovely speech. Noelle, it's all yours.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, and I would like to welcome my friend and the woman who's helped me on this endeavor Dusty Jessen, and she's on the. Yeah, and Rosemary, she's not joining. She's here to watch me. Poor thing, she's gonna get roped into being a member before we know it, right? All right, I'm just gonna share my slide. Right, everyone can see it? All right.
So Noel, are you officially starting your time now?
I'll tell you, once I start a video, I'm gonna start my time then.
Okay, Rob, did you hear that?
Okay, Rob? I'm gonna do it.
Just wanted to make sure you weren't dinged for your time.
Okay. Imagine I'm coming in. March 27, 2002. My mother was dying. I was at my mother's house with my sisters. And we determined that she probably wasn't going to make it through the night. So I was going to go home and pack a suitcase and pick up my daughter and go back. I left the house and I drove home. Now I was home for 3 hours doing who knows what. I had told my sisters that I would be back in an hour, but I was still home. I thought, it's okay. They know I'm always late. They don't care that I'm late. It doesn't matter. I thought, well, I'm going to be there all weekend, so it shouldn't matter that I'm a few minutes late. When I was finally ready to leave, I got in the car and I started driving over to my mother's with my daughter. And I tried to call my sisters and they didn't answer. I called and I called and there was no answer. I got this sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. Did something happen? I couldn't believe that I might have missed saying goodbye to my mother because I was late again. When I finally got to my mother's, my sisters told me that my mother had passed away. I missed my mother's dying because I was late again. Now, do you think that would have changed me? No, it didn't. I was a late person. I was late for appointments, for parties, for work, for weddings, for family gatherings. I lost friendships. I disappointed people. I hurt people. I messed up plans because I was a late person. Do you think all the stories I had to tell about me being late made any difference? Do you think that changed me? No, it didn't. It wasn't until years later that I was willing to take a look at the impact that my being late had on myself, my family, my work, and my life. I assumed that everybody who knew me knew I was a late person. I was late and they just had to accept it, that I was Noelle Crosby and that's who I was. But being a late person also made me a very frantic person. I was always racing, rushing. My head was going 100 miles an hour. And I was always blaming other things for me being late. It never had any. And knew that I was a late person. One day he said to me, Noelle, I recently read something that being late is a form of arrogance. What? Arrogance? You think I'm arrogant? Oh yeah, like I'm really arrogant. I'm probably the least arrogant person that you know. I cannot believe you said that to me. And you told me that. I am not arrogant. That was all he said about that. Until one day that planted this little seed in my brain that maybe that was true. And it opened my eyes to things. And then one day I had a little incident with the police. I was driving to work like a maniac. It actually took me an hour to get to work, but I had decided that it should only take me 45 minutes because that's all I wanted it to take me. So I was driving to work, arrogantly passing all the cars, racing, driving like a maniac, and I looked up and there were flashing lights behind me. I don't have time for that. I'm late for work. I don't have time to be stopped by the police. Well, I did stop and I got my ticket and I started on my way. And I thought, well, you were late. You got a ticket because you were late and you were driving like a maniac because you didn't give yourself enough time to plan. What are you going to do about it? So around that same time, I was on a spiritual self-help development journey. And I used to listen to Eckhart Tolle. I was doing a lot of soul searching. And after that happened, I thought, maybe I can change. Maybe I could change my ways. Maybe I can be a person that's on time and not late for everything. So I had set up and I had started trying to be on time for things. And then one day I was driving home and I was so excited about life. I had just gone to the gym and I'm driving home and I'm listening to Eckhart Tolle talk about being present. And I'm driving and I look up and there's lights behind me again. I got hysterical. I started bawling. Why am I to get stopped again? I've been trying so hard to be present and not be late and not be rushed. And I'm crying and bawling and bawling. And the policeman comes over and he says, you were going too fast. And he looked at me and he gave me a warning. I called my husband and I said, honey, I got stopped again and I don't know what happened. And he said, well, what happened? What were you doing? And I said, I was listening to Eckhart Tolle about being present, and I wasn't being present. And we laughed and laughed and laughed. But that is the day that I decided I was no longer going to be a late person. I was going to be a person who's on time. And I did. So now I will give you the ABCs of how I managed to be an on-time person. A, you have to admit that you have a problem. You have to acknowledge the impact that your behavior has had on other people. You have to feel the impact that you've had on other people. You have to realize, and you have to kind of get in their head and know that the way you acted influenced them. And you have to be accountable to your actions. And you have to have an accountability partner. So for me, it was my husband that I chose. And I can't see Rob. Can you just tell me
Sure.
when you, oh, thanks. B, you have to break the cycle, and you have to draw a line in the sand where you say, no more will I do that behavior. From now on, I am a person who's going to be on time. You have to be aware of the names you call yourself, or be aware. If you call yourself an early person or a late person, but you don't really believe that you are, then you won't be able to really feel that. So when you're doing your affirmations, you want to say something like, I am taking the steps that I need to be a person that's on time. I am working on being an on-time person. I believe I will be an on-time person. If you jump right into it and just start saying, I'm on time, and you don't really believe it, you're not going to be as successful. C, for me, this was the biggest thing, but it goes along with this one. First of all, you want to calculate how much time it takes you to do things. And you want to clearly visualize yourself doing those things. For me, I didn't ever plan the time it was going to take me to get ready. I never planned the time that I needed to drive somewhere, park, get out of the car, walk in where I was going. I just said, oh, I have to be there at 3. So I left my house at 10:03 and was late, and always wondered why I was late. So when I calculated, and this is where my husband came in, he helped me calculate. I looked at every single thing I did and wrote down how much time it was going to take. And then I would ask him, do you think that's enough time? And he would say, no, honey, I think you need to add a little more. I think you got, it's not going to take you 15 minutes to drive there. It's going to take you 30 minutes. Okay, so I was willing to do that, to add the time and calculate. And then I clearly visualized myself doing that behavior, getting out of bed, getting my coffee, leisurely getting dressed, putting on my makeup, driving, not my arrogant maniac self, but slowly driving to where I was going, parking. So I saw everything and I felt it. Okay, great. Celebrate. When you have a win, celebrate it. You did it. Yay, it's amazing. But also, don't beat yourself up if you don't. You're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes, and you're not always going to be doing it perfectly. And I always say, progress, not perfection. So those are my ABCs. I will never be able to bring back my mother or relive that day. But I do have wonderful memories of our time together. And I darn well, I'm going to make sure that I'm never going to miss another important event again because I'm late.
You're yellow.
What I got as benefits is I got peace of mind because I wasn't late. I had less physical stress. I never realized how much stress I was holding, because I was always racing around and thinking of all the reasons why I was late and all the excuses and who was to blame, and that causes a lot of stress. It shifted my view on the world. Instead of me pushing against things, the world opened up to me, and it was more peaceful, and I had more options and opportunities. And it shifted how people see me. People trust me more now. When I say I'm going to be somewhere at a certain time, I am. So remember, it's never too late. I would love to help any of you with this being on time. I would love to hold you accountable, and I would love for you to use my ABCs. So please reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Noel, for that wonderful speech.
So are we gonna do my review now or later? Because I would like Dusty to not have to stay.
That would be up to Danny.
Danny, would that be okay?
Will what be okay?
If we do the review?
You want, so
The
are you saying that you want to be evaluated now and not later?
Because my friend Dusty, I don't want her to have to stay on.
Yes, if,
So I'm prepared to do it, so we could do that and then do table topics after if you want to.
yes, I just, yeah, cause, okay, that sounds good because I was just worried about the time, but no, we can go ahead since Noel is the only speaker. So should I go ahead and call up the general evaluator for tonight?
No, just Lori to do the evaluation.
So, okay, please help me welcome Miss Lori Stevens. Miss Lori Stevens will be evaluating Noel Cosby's speech. Please help me welcome Lori. Lori, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Wonderful guest and Noel. We are doing a group evaluation, so I will endeavor to lead this in sections for how I would like to give her feedback. First, I'm going to ask the group at large, what did you think of her slides? Did you think her slides helped the presentation? And let's have some feedback about the slides and how they enhanced her speech. Anybody? Edward?
I like parts of the slides. I like the emphasis of the alliteration on the words, the ABC. That's very powerful to have those letters along with the words that start with that letter. That really made an impact in remembering what the speech is about and what you're focused on.
Okay, I did not do the slides, good. Okay, there were a couple slides.
Not your evaluation, Noel? No, not your evaluation. Let us give you our opinion.
I'll give myself.
Just like to give her input about the slides and your thoughts. Karen?
Noel, if you have the opportunity to get a remote,
Okay,
I've even seen people put them in their pocket and it's so seamless, you don't even know how the magic even happens.
okay,
But if your laptop is not in front of you, it's somewhere else, and you just click the forward button,
and then I can walk around more.
you walk around, you're freed up from that, because when you're speaking and then you do this, and then you're speaking and then you do this, it's almost jarring to the audience, because we're then waiting, when's she gonna do the next one?
Do you think it would be better if somebody else did the slides?
Alternatively, someone else could help you manage the slides. Yeah.
That would be another.
But I would suggest if you do that, you need to make sure you practice that. So
Right.
that they're on cue with
Okay.
you.
Right.
Because if you ask Feline and she had to wait, it took away from those punchline.
Okay.
And it'll take away from your time.
Okay,
Okay, other thoughts on the slides from the group?
yeah, because Dusty helped me.
Just one other, so at the beginning, when you had the video and the slides
Yeah.
at the very beginning, I cautioned you because then when you started your speech, you were out of breath.
Yeah,
I know you were trying to convey a message through the video and your body language,
right.
but
Just don't, like, maybe play the
What
video,
you-
but not me
well,
moving.
well, you could move, but maybe less running, but more bigger arms or something to, I'm out of control, because that's what you were trying to portray.
Right.
It start small, like.
If we could find the image that.
Yeah. Well, would you think it would be better if I didn't move around?
So I'm questioning you doing that at the
Okay.
beginning, because I was very confused. Should I be watching her? Should I be watching the screen, the video? And your smile was incongruent with the frustration. You
Okay.
were smiling the whole time, and I was confused. Is she trying to give me that she's in a rush kind of thing? So
Okay,
the other thing I would say as the leader of the evaluation is look at those, each of the slides, and decide if you need them, if they enhance what you're doing, because sometimes you don't need them because you're perfect doing what you're doing.
right.
Karen, did you have something else on the slides?
I, like Lori, was extremely confused by the video. I also noticed the out of breath. It took me almost to the very end of your speech to completely understand why you did the video.
Okay,
I think your message is complete without it.
okay,
I don't really think it added to your speech.
Right, I think you doing it was perfect.
And if you, in fact, if you were introduced and then you waited a few seconds and then you ran up on the stage because you were late getting to your own speech,
And
that
adjust
would
would
be,
close, yeah.
that would be
Okay.
enough.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need the video.
okay,
You can even have an alarm clock as a prop or an app on your phone that makes the alarm clock sound. And that would, instead of playing that piece in the video, that would be, you could have it on your phone and play that sound, and that's like the start of you
right, right.
waking up or realizing that you're late.
Okay.
And I think that that would give you time back in your speech
Yes.
to
Right.
then reinforce your message, which I would like to hear you maybe punch in there a few times. And when I say punch, I want you to emphasize, it's up to you. It's a choice. You get to choose, like I decided.
Okay,
And I would like to hear you use your voice to punch some of your points.
okay,
I noticed you had a tone shift when you were having a conversation with your husband. And arrogant, how dare you? But emphasize it with your body language and get big like you are arrogant. And then when you realize that maybe you are,
yeah,
get humble. So
okay,
use your body in that way.
okay.
So that leads me into the next thing I would like for people to offer feedback, body language throughout the speech. Thoughts?
Is anyone on Zoom? We're not getting
Yeah,
participation.
okay, so Rob, go ahead.
Yes, if I could highlight what was mentioned about the video. One of the cardinal rules about using slides is to not clutter them with a lot of words. I thought of that when I was watching you and the video at the beginning at the same time. There was a disconnect there. Too many things going on at one time. Having said that, Noelle, you captivated me with your stories. You captivated me with your pauses. You captivated me with your alliterations. And I was focused on you and not the slides at all. My view is opposite of the crowds. I didn't need the slides at all to enjoy your speech and learn from it. That's
Rob,
my-
do you have any thoughts on her body language and how she used that to help her support her speech?
the running at the beginning, I thought was demonstrated her point. The I'm tr-
Less is more.
yeah, I'm just that's about all I've got.
Anyone else on body language? Karen?
When you did arrogance, Lori already demonstrated this, when you took your arms like that and you put them on your hips, that was memorable.
Okay,
The pearl that I have for you on body language, you did it more in the first half of the speech, but when your arms went up, you came down and you slap your legs and you make an audible sound that's distracting. So
okay,
try, you can bring them down, but try not to actually slap.
okay. I didn't even know I was doing that, you know?
Yeah,
It was recorded, right?
So
Yeah, you can
you're
go
gonna have to
back
go back and watch it.
Okay.
You did, I think you only did the beginning of the speech and then
Right.
you stopped. So maybe the nerves wore off a little
Right.
bit.
but you can definitely use your stage to anchor your points. Over here is when you were in your fraggle.
Right.
Here's when you're in your metamorphosis, and maybe here's when you're now minding time better and
Okay.
managing that possibly.
Okay.
This could be like the first police stop, and this could be the second police stop. That was beautiful. What? The emotion was great with that. That was very well done. Any other thoughts?
Jim and Rosemary. had their-
Jim?
The only thing I have to add is the fact that, first of all, I did not pin your image. And the room audio is what I was getting. So it's a little bit more difficult to see you with your slides running when the only thing I see is the room audio.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as I realized what was going on, I pinned your image and I was able to see you and your slides. Occasionally, you would walk out of frame for the Zoom audience. So you should watch what you're doing. It is better to turn and stay in frame rather than leaving the frame for your image. So
Well, there-
keep that in mind.
So I
If you're
don't-
on Zoom and you have a big stage, make sure your Zoom audience doesn't.
All right, thank you, Jim. Rosemary? Go ahead, Rosemary.
Okay. Noel, is this going to be a hybrid presentation?
No, it's just live.
Just live? All right, who is the audience?
Other audiologists and workers.
All right, you know your audience. Do you know the space, the stage? How much stage space will you actually have?
I'm thinking it will be a good sized stage. So I could definitely move more.
Good, good. Yes, because you were moving a lot in the beginning, and that showed the frantic part. That was good. But look at the video. You might want to tailor the movement. I'm the last one who should be talking about too much movement, but you'll see it's on the video.
So
And-
where was I moving? Like, what does she mean? Like, was I moving too much?
There were some frantic kind of additional upper body movements that was
Okay.
not congruent with. So that would be one thing I would say to bring it all together in summary. You did an amazing job, Noel, starting and preparing, and it was evident that you did that. You were prepared, you had your slides, you had your friend show up, you told us what to expect. That was wonderful. It was evident that you also rehearsed. Some of the pearls that I heard from everyone was make sure you're syncing your slides and making sure they're valuable to your speech, and maybe even get rid of them if they're not supporting. The ABCs was beautiful at the end. That could be a handout, a takeaway that they had with it's never too late. So they had something.
Can I tell you why I want them? Because I don't know if I'll remember everything if I don't have some kind of
I do understand that. I do understand that. But remember, Noel, this is your story and you did a great job conveying your story and your message. Trust yourself because I think you'll get there. I really do. You were a phenomenal storyteller. You managed the material. You knew what you were talking about. The last little gift that I would make sure to emphasize with this is punch some of your points with your voice. Really make sure you're emphasizing them. Go up, go down. If you whisper, they lean in. Use that voice to do that for you. So a 15-minute presentation, I am convinced it is never too late to stop being late. Thank you for that. Back to you, Candy.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lori Stevens, for that wonderful group evaluation. And thank you everybody who was able to give Noel feedback. And yeah, I appreciate it. Our next, we will be going to have our table topics. But before we do that, I'm going to share two little things about Labor Day. Two more wonderful things about Labor Day. Now, did you know that how did the high market effect influence on Labor Day? And I'll tell you about it. On May 4th, 1886, a bomb exploded at Union Rally Station in Chicago High Market Square, which led to the violence that killed 7 police officers and 4 others. The incident led to May 1st being celebrated as the most nations as Workers' Day. The U.S. government chose Labor Day instead to avoid a celebration on May 1st, and New York Union had already picked the first Monday in September for their holiday. Our next part of our agenda is, please help me welcome Karen. Karen Smithman will be our table topics master. And I'm sorry, Karen, I don't know how much time you have, but go until whatever time you. I shouldn't say that, but please help me welcome Karen to our stage for table topics.
Thank you very much, Danny. Appreciate it. Labor Day is our theme tonight. So my first question, I'm going to go back to the traditional way of doing table topics, where I ask the question before I call on someone, so that all of you have to think about your answer before I choose the lucky person. Growing up in the Midwest, Labor Day meant the start of the school year and the promise of crisp fall weather. What childhood memory does Labor Day invoke for you? Believe. Fellow Toastmasters and most honored guests, Labor Day, this time of year, what childhood memory does it invoke for me? This happens to be my favorite time of year because of football season. I was, you probably can guess, a cheerleader in high school, and football season was the favorite season. It was the smell of the outdoors. It was the cheering of the crowds. It was the hot dogs and sodas. It was everything about the game. But I will share one of my funniest moments as a cheerleader. When I started, I knew nothing about football, nothing. So other team has the ball. We're running, on defense. I start offense cheer, and vice versa, because I don't even know what offense and defense mean when I started as a cheerleader. Now it's one of my favorite seasons, and still one of my favorite sports. So you will find me wherever there is a venue in Sarasota during football season that is playing either a Bucks game, of course, because now I have to be a Bucks fan, or a Bengals game. That's where you'll find me. That's the childhood memory that this season invokes for me. Thank you very much, Lee. You brought back fond memories for me too. Block that tick. Yes, I was a cheerleader too. Thank you very much. Sorry about that, Lee. Next question. if you have to spend Labor Day on manual labor around the house, what chore or endeavor are you most likely to tackle? Edward.
And were you a cheerleader?
Yeah, I was out there playing, but I appreciated the cheerleaders as they cheered. What would I like to do chore during Labor Day if I had to? I would say just the nature of how I think in my mind is cleaning. I like to be in a clean environment. I live with someone that is not as clean. There's always someone that's either clean or not as clean in the relationship, and you just have to coexist and compromise. So I would probably work on cleaning, and then I would, as far as cleaning what area, I would probably be assigned the garage or outdoors or something like that, because that's just something that my spouse is not going to do. She's not going to do the guy stuff as far as cleaning. I would work on that, and I would try to make it fun. I would try to involve my son and my wife and just try to make, instead of a chore, turn it into something positive or a game, so we can all just have fun and participate and not make it, just have a good mindset, positive outlook on it, so we all are enjoying it while we're doing it. So, thank you.
Next question. If you have Labor Day off of work to enjoy, what is your leisure activity of choice? Could I get someone to substitute for our timer, Mr. Rob McGuire, so he can answer this question? I do.
The woman who comes prepared.
Never gets unpacked. Lori will be timing.
Ready? What would I do? What leisure activity would I be doing over Labor Day?
Yes.
That's an easy one. I'd be heading to the White Mountains of New Hampshire. New Hampshire has 48 4,000 footers. That's what we call them. I have 24 of them under my belt. But my favorite mountain to climb over Labor Day is Mount Chakorowa. Mount Chakorowa is named after an Indian tribe in the town of Tamworth, New Hampshire, which has a population of about 3,000. Now, the interesting thing about Tamworth, New Hampshire is that President Grover Cleveland came from that town. What I love about Mount Chakorowa is it has a rocky peak where you can see 360 degrees. And on a clear day, you can actually see to Boston. The path is covered with evergreen trees, and the smell is just, or balsam, it's like, smells like Christmas walking up to the top. I live in the lakes region, so there's water all over the place. And we even have these birds called Canadian jays that follow you up the path. And if you happen to have a granola bar and you crush it up and you put it in your hand, the Canadian jays will actually come and eat from it. Now that's a no-no. They don't want you feeding the wildlife, but if you won't tell, I won't tell. Over Labor Day, by far, I'm heading for the hills and the White Mountains of New Hampshire. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Rob. We're jealous because, well, we're still sweltering down here over Labor Day. Next question. Like most of you, I imagine, I, as a child, had household chores that I would complain constituted child labor. What was your favorite or least favorite childhood chore? Ms. Rosemary Tantella.
Uh, yeah,
Uh-oh. You're muted. Oh, she's muted. You're muted, Rosemary.
You're muted.
Muted.
oh,
There we go.
Okay. All right now?
Yep.
Okay, it says mute and it's meant to. Okay. Perfect question for me, Madam Topics Master. My favorite chore was waiting my mother out. My room got messy enough. I knew she couldn't stand it anymore, so she'd just go and clean it. So that was, I guess, my chore was always been how to avoid work. I guess that's, and I'm famous in the family. Of course, I was very studious, you know, an elder child, you know, was expected to be a good in school. So I always had my books along. I was always studying. And we'd go to Aunt Mary's for the annual Christmas orgy, 4 hours of eating. Oh, I don't know how many people. And you can imagine how many dishes. Well, I would go upstairs after dinner and take a rest, or maybe bring my book. Somehow, some radar or measure, I would just be coming down as the last dish was being wiped. And I said, "Oh, can I help?" I tried. I offered. They got on to me after. I mean, honestly, I was tired. I really needed the rest, you know. But so I don't. And as a matter of fact, dishes to this day, dishes are absolutely the worst. The pits. But thank you so much for that question, Madam Topics Master. Back to you.
Oh, Rosemary. We're gonna do a little recycling now. Going back to our first question, as I said, I grew up in the Midwest. Labor Day meant the start of the school year and the promise of crisp fall weather. What childhood memory does Labor Day invoke for you, Mr. Jim Ellis?
I am a foodaholic. Labor Day was always a great day for a picnic. Now, it's not like we ever were without food or without plenty of food, but it seems like every Labor Day we would cook outdoors and overeat. It partially because it was the end of the growing season up in New York. And we always had more than enough food that we were able to pick out of the garden and from the local vendors, because we would stop off at the local farmers. I think my favorite was the days that we took and put on a huge pot of water on the stove, and then all got in the car and drove to the You Pick 'em field to pick corn on the cob. We would shuck that corn in the car on the way back. And as soon as we got back home, the water was boiling. We dropped the corn in the water, and almost before the corn would get warm, we would pull it out of there and start eating. Now, granted, I seldom ate more than 12 years. But on occasion I would, I guess. But that was only because I had the same room for the watermelon. We did not buy a watermelon. We bought a watermelon. There's no screen big enough for the watermelon. We bought a watermelon and we would polish off that watermelon, 5 of us,
could go through the entire watermelon and a dozen ears of corn each. Those are the memories that I had of Labor Day.
Thank you, Joe. If you have to spend Labor Day on manual labor around the house, what chore or endeavor are you most likely or least likely, your pick, least likely to tackle? Sachin.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, Table Topic Master, for the question. So, on Labor Day, what would I do most likely?
Recording in progress.
I'd probably be off until with my wife. So I'd probably be finding things to do to hide from her. I'd probably be trying to find things. Sorry. So I'd probably be on Labor Day. If my wife is off too, I'd probably be trying to find things to do to hide from her. So I know Karen likes to go in the garage, so I'd probably try to find some stuff to do in the garage, clean up around the garage and organize and make some space for stuff and find a place maybe to hide for the rest of the day. Hopefully she won't find me. And after that, I'd probably go to CrossFit. It's another place she doesn't like to go, so that'd be good to go there, relieve some stress and anxiety. And then probably after that, go home. Hopefully it's late enough that I won't get in a fight with my wife. So the key is always to be hiding, and that's the endeavor, is to make my wife happy.
Thank you, Sachin. When you have Labor Day off of work to enjoy, what is your leisure activity of choice? Lori Stevens.
Any hints, any ideas, any thoughts? Actually, this Labor Day, thank you, Madam Toastmaster and Topics Master and guests. This Labor Day, I'm actually working. It is what it is. When you run your own business, there is no guilt-free downtime. That's why I take every opportunity I can to pick up a hook. My friend says, stop shopping and go hooking. Yes, crocheting. This is a hook. It is not a needle, not knitting. It is crocheting. And I do, when I put my hook down, I get myself in trouble because I go on Amazon and I Google and I put in a search term and I buy way too many things. That is why I am the proud owner of way too many fidget toys at my office. That is also why I have way too many of these. However, without these and without the yarn, I can't create the wonderful things that I create. I can't keep my hands busy while my mind is twirling on all the things that I have to get done that I'm not doing because I'm crocheting. However, again, I have beautiful things that I wear and give to other people. So my labor is always a labor of love. Every stitch is made with love. And I got a beautiful picture from my great niece. I made her a blanket. She is a year old and it is her favorite. She won't go to bed with it. She won't leave the house with it. It is her favorite. And that is my labor of love on Labor Day. Thank you.
I knew there was one of a few things that were happening. Anna, would you like to try table topics? You are not under any obligation to do so, but you've had about 8 or 9 examples so far. Would you like to give it a try?
Do you mean to tell how would I spend Labor Day?
Absolutely. That's, if you like that question, I can certainly let you.
Okay.
Would you like to try?
Yes. if I had opportunity to spend my Labor Day with my family, I would do it. I would go to the beach and I would grill with my family some delicious meat or fish and swim a lot. So since I have 8-month-old daughter, she loves being in the ocean. So I would spend this time with her, give her the opportunity to be inside the water, since it's Labor Day and all the families are celebrating, and you don't need to worry about anything at that day. So thank you. That's all.
Well done, well done. I love how you answered that question, and we would love to see a picture of your little one.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll do it.
Thank you. All right, we'll do one more, I believe. Well, you had a 15-minute speech. We'll do one more, and this one is going to be for you, Danny. Have I gotten everybody else? Yeah, she started. Danny, I'm going to go back to asking you, when you were a child, what was your favorite or least favorite childhood chore?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. It's still my favorite chore because I still do it. I love mowing the grass. Now, I know you think that's weird to say, but imagine this. You have a long yard of long grass, and then you cut it. Now, those of you who mow know after you cut your grass, there's that smell. I tell you, there's nothing like that smell of fresh cut grass. It's one of the best. I mean, I really enjoy it. I enjoy the smell. I enjoy the just the way it is. There's just something about that fresh cut grass smell. And it looks good for a few days and it starts growing. But one of the things that I really do enjoy, Labor Day means that fall and winter is coming back, which means it's going to get cooler, which means you get a break and cut the grass less. So I'm looking forward to that. If not less, then not so hot. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Danny. I can totally relate. And I don't know if the fresh cut weeds smell quite as good in my backyard. Just saying. I think we've covered enough time for table topics. I will now turn it back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Good evening. Thank you very much for that wonderful, fun table topics. Greatly appreciate it. For now, I would like to share a few more things about Labor Day. Here's a question. Can you wear white? Can you wear white after Labor Day? And I will tell you right now, the old tradition goes back to the late Viking area, where it was fashionable folk past to wear any white cloth after summer official ending of Labor Day. The tradition is not really followed anymore. Behind the fashion where white introduced, if you wore white, you were still in vacation mode at your summer cottage. If you wore white. The holiday has evolved over the years. In the late 19th century, celebrate focus on parades in urban areas. Now the holiday is celebrated to honor organization, labor, and a few parades and more activities. It also marks the end of summer. And one more thing about the end of summer. If any of our Toastmasters has a pool at their home or knows anybody that has a pool, right now would be the good time to go get toys or whatnot for the grandkids because they need to get rid of them and they're gonna go on sale. So just so you guys know, because you gotta make room for the next fun stuff. Our next part of our meeting will be our general evaluator. Can you please help me welcome Sanchin will be our general evaluator. Sanchin, welcome to the stage. And I hope I don't sound like your wife when I tell you to get up here. Please help me welcome Sanchin.
Oh, here, the agenda. You're gonna need those reports, the ones that are circled. Word of the day.
Thank you for that introduction, Danny. I'd rather talk with you than my wife anytime. And then thank you for a great meeting. We started on time. Great speech by Noel, and it just really re-emphasizes how important it is to be punctual and to be on time. A great evaluation by Lori, and a great theme by Danny about the Labor Day. So first report we have is the word of the day.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. I will endeavor to give a great word of the day report. Got it in, put in. Endeavor, I picked the word, and just for our guests, we use word of the day. The reason behind it is to try to use a vocabulary word, expand our vocabulary, and mix it in when appropriate during our opportunities when we're speaking to improve our word usage. And today I picked endeavor because it was kind of blended with the theme of labor, and at least that word. And we had pretty good usage across the board with endeavor. I had Rosemary used it, Noelle used it, Lori used it, Sachin used it. Great job. I got it in there. And then the people that used it the most, I had Boleen with 2 and Karen with 2. Anyone else that I missed? Robert, did you use the word of the day? No? Okay. So that's the word of the day report. Thank you.
Thank you. The next report we have for today is the timer report. And Rob.
Thank you very much. I will endeavor to give a brief timer's report. I got one in. Despite all the changes, we started on time and things just continued to flow very nicely. I have to confer with my fellow Toastmate, Karen Smithman. This job is stressful. Oh my gosh. Did I reset the timer? Oh, wait a minute. Oh no. Fake it and you'll make it. Actually, I was pretty good today. Do you have your cards in order? Wait a minute. Does green come before red? I don't know. I'm getting all confused. Despite that, everyone did their table topics within the time frame. I won't elaborate on the specific times, But here we are at 7:50, concluding getting through our reports, and you did a great job staying on time. Everybody had a chance for table topics. Way to go. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you for that report. And then next.
Right?
Intrepid Inquisitor.
And I'll counter for Marion.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
We took a few notes for Ockrounder Grammarian, and I'm lying you about 4 times in the process of saying this, so I think I win. And I lost track of it about 15 minutes into the meeting. I did hear a double clutch out of Rosemary. So you can add that to Rob's speech, your double clutch. See what I did there? Okay, thank you. And I liked when Rosemary said for the grammarian, when she said, if an old lady like me can do it, you can certainly do it. I thought that was a beautiful saying. And then I also noticed that Helene, as our humorist, said she was going to add levity rather than humor. So I like the fact that she used the word levity. I would say we all did pretty well, except for my last 4 us. That's my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's it. Right? Okay.
I would ask for votes in
Yeah,
terms.
we have the polls to vote. Well, sorry, I'll start with table topics voting.
Okay.
Put that up there. We'll go into voting for, or did you have any more for your general evaluator?
No.
Okay, then we'll vote for the best evaluator. What's that?
Danny, ready to take over?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, Sanction, and all of our evaluators, and your team. You guys did a great job. I got just 2 more things. I won't be able to get through the whole list that I prepared for you guys tonight, but I have just a couple more. There are the biggest union today is the National Education Association, which has about 3 million people who are members, including inactive and lifetime members. The Cleveland governor helped make Labor Day a national holiday. After violence related to the Panama Railroad strike, President Cleveland and lawmakers in Washington wanted a federal holiday to celebrate labor, not a holiday celebrated on May 1st. President Cleveland signed an act in 1894 established the federal holiday. Most states have already passed law embracing Labor Day holiday by the point. Senator James Harrison County of South Dakota introduced 7,300 to make Labor Day a federal legal holiday on the first Monday of September, which was approved on June 28th, 1894. Now, I would like to say thank you, everybody, for letting me be your Toastmaster. I really appreciate it. I know Monday is Labor Day. I hope I hope everybody here has a wonderful Labor Day, and I hope you guys, ladies and gentlemen, enjoyed the different facts that I have came and provided everybody with, because I don't know about you, but when I was doing research and read about this stuff, I learned some pretty cool things that I didn't know. So I hope you, ladies and gentlemen, enjoyed them. And yeah, now that will be my duration of being the Toastmaster of the evening. Please help me welcome our president, our wonderful president, Edward, to the stage. And I just want to say thank you. I love this. I love each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen. I love our club. Please help me welcome back Edward. President Edward.
Thank you, Danny, and I speak for the group, the feeling is mutual.
Yes.
Yes. Tonight's winners, best speech, Noel. Hopefully you had lots of good tips and
Yes, I did. Thank you
feedback,
very
so
much.
it's gonna be a great. And best table topics. The humor got you the vote. And best evaluator. Lori. Yes. All right, let's take a nice smiling screenshot. Smile. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right. Got it. All right, thank you. And how appropriate, we have Labor Day coming up to enjoy. And everyone with their family, good time of year, all that. Is anyone signed up for next week?
I didn't.
Oh,
I
okay.
do it when I sit here.
Oh, good.
Just makes it easier.
Let's see what we have available.
I will speak next week, Edward.
Thank you, Rosemary.
I'll be the Toastmaster.
You heard that.
I'll sign up for myself.
Okay, all right.
I'll speak next week.
Okay.
I'll do table topics.
I grab GE.
Okay. Well, do you think Jeff will be back next week?
Probably. I don't know. We just got to North Carolina. Yeah.
Can I remind everybody to click at the top of the agenda where it says, will you be attending? Either click yes or no. That just kind of gives us an idea of who's going to be present and who won't be present.
Well, and if you're going to be attending, please sign up for a role.
Yes.
For your role, do you automatically say, does it automatically go to yes?
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, it's easy to see. If you're on the roll, then you're attending. So I have Rosemary and Bellini for speeches, Robert, table topics. Well, you're gonna sign, oh, you already signed the Toastmaster. Karen, you gonna be here next week?
Yeah, sign up for GE.
Oh, you signed up for GE, okay, great. All right, well,
Noel, send me the theme when you know what it is, or do you know what it is? Being late?
Yeah. The consequences of being late. Why it's important to be early. How about that?
There you go, huh?
It's important to be on time. How about that?
Edward, can I do education moment next week?
sure.
That's
Well,
available?
I think I signed up.
Oh, Lori signed up.
How about inspiration?
There you go.
That's available. I'll sign you up.
Yeah, can I do that next week?
Yes,
Thank you.
got you signed up.
Who hasn't done general evaluator in a while?
I already got it.
Karen grabbed it.
Got it? Oh, good.
Okay,
Good.
thank you, Sage.
We do need speech evaluators.
Right, I'll probably grab one of those. Okay, well, we have the framework for a good meeting. Does anyone have any special announcements they'd like to share with the group? Or yes, no.
I would just like to thank everybody for all your input. I appreciate it. And I'm gonna keep practicing the next couple weeks, and this will be September 15th is when I do it.
Okay.
Okay. good.
Jim wants
We're
to say something.
Yeah, don't forget the dues are due before the end of September.
Thank you, Jim. You just
I
read
don't
my
want to see the
mind.
club go delinquent.
No. I'm on them like a pit bull.
Yeah.
Simon Legree.
So, yeah, Rosemary called me Simon Legree.
Also, keep in
I'll
mind,
miss you, my pretty, and your little dog too.
the district is in bad need of people that will attend somebody else's meeting and help coach that club. But in order to coach a club, you must first go into Pathways and take the coach's training. So
Effective,
if you've got an extra
does
time,
it have to be the effective coaching